Anuj Puri joins me on the phone line because obviously there is a sector that will be most impacted by this. Anuj, we could pretend that it's not going to impact real estate, but the truth is it is going to. Even more than perhaps RERA. I understand Getamber Anand is with us as well. Mr. Anand, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Anuj Puri,
good evening.
For an industry that's already under a fair amount of financial stress, what would this mean?
So a couple of things, Faye. One very, very interesting move and very encouraging, and certainly the right move to be able to flush out any black money that is in the system. There are three segments in real estate that I would say is commercial, retail, and residential. Commercial and retail.
Yeah. Like don't use black money as much as residential does.
Yeah,
that's true.
Exactly. On the residential, if you divide into primary and secondary, primary is a sector where the developers sell. It's largely salaried people who buy, mortgage-driven. There is hardly any cash element left in that primary sector. Where it will have an impact is on the secondary sector, which is the second-time home buyer selling it to a purchaser. There as well, I thought that over the last few years, given the way the circle rates and the ability of the local government to curtail any...
But Anuj, the question really is, will all of that have an impact on pricing?
I don't think
you don't believe so.
That there is going to have it. I mean, on the primary, there is no cash, and we monitor the prices on the primary market. I mean that you would see is most of the listed companies of the developers. There is really no cash given the typology of the buyer.
No, that is true. In fact, Anuj, let me bring in Getamber Anand here. Mr. Anand, we have this conversation constantly about the fact that the upper crest of the real estate sector, which is now listed, maintaining very, very high standards of accounting, are dealing completely with home loans, with banks, with funding, which makes them completely above board. But that's the tip of the iceberg, really. If we look at the rest of the sector down to tier 2, tier 3, what impact do you believe that will have on the sector? Because if such a large portion of the sector is impacted by this, then all of it is going to tremble a little bit, isn't it?
Faye, I would like to correct your statement. It's not only the listed companies that are compliant and well governed today.
Yes.
Let me tell you that the organized sector is very compliant, even if they're not listed.
No, but what I meant was listed and organized. I beg your pardon. Listed and organized.
Yeah.
For most of our big cities right now, we know that you're selling to salaried people who are taking loans, which means that they want complete-wide transactions, and that's what's being offered. But if we look at tier 2 and tier 3 India, there's a lot of work to be done there, and that's where the real impact will be felt.
So Faye, then, I'll just take forward what Anuj has said, and he's very rightly said. It's basically the primary market where organized players are present in any geography will not feel any hit, any disturbance at all. It is, you see, real estate is divided into two segments. One is the organized sector, one is the unorganized sector. Now, we were facing a lot of brunt and a lot of bad publicity because of the unorganized sector, where all these practices were highly prevalent. And now with this happening today, I'm happy to say that at least we will get due credit. And we'll, we've been shouting hoarse with government to change draconian income tax laws like Section 43CA, which says that if there's a difference in pricing between the circle rate and the sale price, there is no black money involved. Why should the customer and the seller have to pay income tax on that so-called deemed income, where they're assuming that there's been black money transacted? So this actually will, absolve us in so many ways, and we can now effectively fight for removal of Section 43CA, because of which our customers also suffer and we also suffer. So I'm coming back to what you asked. Anuj is very right in saying that in the primary market, there's no such fear of any earthquake happening. Things will go on better than before, better than usual. In fact, our constant bashing by the income tax department, etc., will also now, they have no reason to bash us now. So it is the unorganized sector which needs to be looked at, which needs to be corrected, and this will happen because of this move. And the secondary market, very rightly, Anuj, that will suffer because that is where these transactions are happening. And that too will stop. The market will evolve to a better place. And I think in the long run, we are seeing some very good news for the real estate sector.
Very good news for the real estate sector. Of course, a combination of the real estate regulator plus this sort of crackdown very openly on black money will, like Mr. Anand and both Anuj Puri pointed out, give the real estate sector a completely different look by the end of maybe the next financial year. What this will mean, of course, is the way we look at real estate, the way we look at the real estate sector will change completely. And of course, on this channel, we stand by two demands very, very clearly. The circle rates need to be linked to actual prices, like Getamber Anand pointed out. And of course, the various levels of taxes that are placed on residential real estate that actually add up to nearly 30% of what we pay as customers also needs to be reconsidered and looked at very closely at a regime when we are reconsidering GST altogether. I want to thank both Anuj Puri and Getamber Anand for joining us on the show. Wish the real estate sector very, very good luck for the next year or so. But on your screen right now are shots of the brand new notes. What you're looking at is the new 500 rupee note as against the old one. That's the old one that goes out of circulation tonight. The new note will be released by the RBI soon enough. We'd love to get a closer look at what images have been used on that 2000 rupee note as well. We'll bring you updates on what the RBI has decided to do. We do understand that all banks will remain closed right through the day tomorrow, after which, starting the 10th of November, you will be able to exchange your existing 500 and 1000 rupee notes. But if you don't spend them before tonight, they go out of circulation. On your screen, the brand new 2000 rupee note that will be released by the RBI. But this is a day, viewers, that we will remember. And we will tell our grandchildren about the day that India took a very simple but a very, very hard stand against black money. Thanks for watching.